The realization that you're getting older is really scary, especially when you look at others around you and you start to compare yourself to them and realize you are going to be that comparison one day for someone younger than you. Okay, I didn't see you there. I watched this video the other day that said if you're not entertaining your creativity, you're slowly killing it. Because one of these days you're gonna be so out of practice that you don't even want to try anymore. I wasn't gonna make a 22-year-old video. I was just gonna, let that thought die. And it makes sense because if you don't entertain your creativity, you are, in essence, slowly killing it. For anyone who doesn't know me, hi, I'm Marley, and 4 or 5 days ago now, I turned 22. And every birthday, I start to reminisce and think about the past year and pretty much just life in general. I think the most daunting of the thoughts is that you know how when you look up to somebody who's older than you, like say if you're 20, you think of 25 as being really old, 26, 27. For me, I think of 25 as being like you should have sort of established yourself in life, right? But that is most definitely not the case because I've met a lot of people this year who are not nearly as established as I would have thought initially a 30-year-old or 35-year-old would be. We actually just got a new hire at work and this dude is 23. And I asked him what his past work experience was and he said he had none. This is his first job, and it's crazy for me to think that a 23-year-old has not had any work experience whatsoever. Like for me personally, I've always equated age to having more wisdom, knowledge, experience in life. Like when I was in first grade, I would always look up to the second graders because they got to eat lunch before us. I don't know if you know that feeling where somebody is older than you or above you, so you kind of harbor this respect towards them because of that. Like when I was in first grade, I couldn't even fathom the fact that I was going to be in third grade eventually, and even fourth grade and fifth grade. I couldn't imagine graduating from elementary school. But the fact of the matter was that it was going to happen eventually. One of the most daunting thoughts for me was the fact that eventually I'm gonna be 25 and I'm gonna be supposedly experienced, right? But I'm looking at all these other people supposedly ahead of me with more experience, more age as more experience, but in fact, age does not make you more wise or experienced. Like age is truly just a number because I'm looking at a lot of these people older than me and I'm seeing that they're not nearly as mature as I would think a 30-year-old would be. I look at my mind and how I've progressed over the years and I see that I'm actually making a lot of progress. But the scary thing for me is that I might be a 25-year-old who could possibly not make any progress from where I am today. The scariest part for me is that I could possibly be stagnant. I could just get comfortable and stay in the exact same position I am right now. It is truly scary to think that I could possibly be a 25-year-old that I'm looking at right now in my perspective as a 22-year-old, seeing them as somebody who's above me and more experienced, but realizing I'm gonna be that person one day. I'm gonna be that 25-year-old. So when it comes down to it, am I gonna be a 25-year-old who's proud of myself, proud of my accomplishments, and somebody of that age who uses my time wisely? This year marked for me a year of rest. I'm not fully proud of myself, but I'm also not disappointed in what I've done this year. Like, yes, I could have done a lot more, but I could have done a lot worse as well. As a person who really loves to achieve for great heights and get things done, I don't know if I've done that this year. But the fact of the matter is that I have time, you have time. And sometimes I think maybe I'm a little bit too hard on myself. Like if I tried just a little bit less to be perfect and just do what I feel needs to be done, I'd get places a lot faster than I actually am. Does that make sense? I don't know if any of this makes sense. It's kind of weird because I'm still young, but at the same time, I'm starting to envy people who are younger than me for their youth and I'm not even that old. And I don't want to be 23, 24, 25, even 30 years old, regretting my past and regretting the decisions that I've made. And I desperately do not want to be one of these people. I do not want to live in fear or anxiety or worry or any of that. I just want to do what I feel is right. And this, for me, is right. I get true and genuine joy from just sharing my thoughts, sharing my opinions on life, and theorizing about what it all could mean. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned this year is that the meaning of life is itself. Life doesn't inherently mean anything except what you make it mean. Even though it all seems inherently meaningless and pointless because you have a 1 in 400 trillion chance of being born. Just think of the odds. That means you and I are walking, talking, breathing miracles. None of this is supposed to exist. None of this is supposed to be here right now, yet it is. That in and of itself is the meaning. You give it meaning and you do what you feel is right in your own life. Like, I could stand here all day and tell you what to do and tell you your life should be lived like this and that and the other thing, but ultimately it is up to you. You choose how to live it, point blank, because all your actions that you make today will be reflected in the future, whether or not it's a week from now, 2 weeks from now, even a month or a year. Just know that your actions matter and they'll either come back to bless you or to haunt you. So my fear of being a 25-year-old and a disappointment is honestly just based on my actions. And it becomes completely irrelevant when I just make good decisions and good actions for today and the future. I don't know if you've heard that quote that says, well, life is actually long, you just waste a lot of your time. And that's what people end up doing, is wasting time, because they don't see the finite resource that it is. Yes, I'm not super proud of the way I lived this past year, but I'm also not necessarily disappointed in myself either. Life is a dance, and you learn as you live. It's just a matter of moving forward and learning from your mistakes. So go out and do what's best for yourself, because you only get one life. And no matter how old you are, you're not going to be young forever, and you're not even going to be alive forever. The goal of life is not to live forever, but to create something that does. So go do it.
I'm trying to be a disciple that's showing my rivals your love over giving them hatred. I'm trying to be a disciple that's living revival. My life is a whole conversation. I'm trying to be a disciple that follow your will whenever the trend is jaded. I'm trying to be a disciple that put on your armor whenever I know I can't take them. Stand with your brothers and sisters in Christ.